This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2022 Salem Cruise Lite travel trailer. The model number is 261 BHXL. Okay, so this is not a floor plan or a sales video. This is a how-to video. So I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work, okay? So here I am at the door side rear of the trailer. And you can see here that there's a quick connect for the LP system. So to add a grill or griddle or whatever you want to add on, that's where you would connect it to the system right there. Okay. Now if we look here, okay, this one actually has a griddle and it has the hose right here. The quick connect hose has got a female and then of course the male end. The male end will go into here, right, and the female end will go on the back of the griddle right here. So you have to plug it in before you can fire it up, obviously. And then you just have a regular AC refrigerator here. This is a quick or a coiled sprayer right here. There are some quick connects around the trailer that you can hook that to. At least one, maybe two. I'll point them out as we see them. But you can use that to spray down whatever you want. Before we go any further, this way, it has regular scissor type stabilizer jacks, but it has an added feature, this yellow device called a strong arm. What it does is it takes the forward and rearward movement out of the trailer once it's stabilized. So the idea is you want it open when you're raising or lowering these jacks. Of course, there's one of these on each corner. So what you'll do is you'll use the 3/4 inch crank or a 3/4 inch 6-point socket on a drill, which is most people do that use these days. Just don't overextend it or over retract it, right? You're not lifting the trailer, you're just taking the movement out of it. So you'll extend it to where you want them to be. Then you'll tighten this T-handle right here. What it does is when it's tightened, it'll keep this inner tube from sliding through the outer tube. So it takes away the forward and rearward movement, just makes it much more stable. But before you bring it back up now, you want to loosen it again, right? So it can move freely. So you're going to tighten it when you get in position, but anytime you're raising or lowering this, you want it loose. Okay? And there's one on each corner, of course. It makes a big difference when it comes to taking the movement out of the trailer. Just got a TV signal here plus power. If you want to put a TV out there, you have outside speakers. You also have a power awning with LED strip on it. Okay, let's move along here. See what we're at here. Okay, so in here we have your jack, or I'm sorry, not your jack, your hitch. We'll show you how this operates when you pick up. But this is a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. So it's a good one. The sway control is built right in. It's a really good hitch. So we'll show you how that works when you pick up. Just so you know, right back there, if you can see down here at the bottom, that goes into your drill or driver, so you can operate the stabilizer jacks, right? The smaller crank that's hanging there, that's for the power tongue jack. If the power tongue jack happens to fail, you can crank it manually. I'll show you that when we get back out. And this longer device, that's to operate the awning in an emergency. That's something you're going to have to research. You'll have to look at the literature, and better yet, look at the online manufacturer's video to understand that. But it can get you out of trouble in an emergency, okay? All the way at the other end, we can see there's the power cord, and there's your dump hose next to it. Okay, we're running on battery right now. So, this is the power tongue jack here. Up and down plus a hitch light. Now I told you that you can crank it manually if you have to. You just pull this plug, you take that crank and put it right in there, and you can raise and lower it. You can hitch and unhitch no matter what. If you have a failure or whatever, for whatever reason, you can do it manually. Okay? 2 LP tanks with automatic changeover regulator, and they're full. Deep cycle marine battery. And this is the kill switch for your battery. If you want to shut the battery off when you put it in storage, for example, you don't have to undo a cable. You could just turn that to the off position. All right, so this is just the other side of your pass-through storage that we were looking at just a minute ago. 30-foot, 30-amp power cord. We also give you a reducer to reduce it down, which I don't see, but it's in here somewhere. Okay, that's the vent for your furnace. So if you got little kids around, you want to kind of warn them away from it. One thing you can do if you got kids around is you can buy the bug screen that you can put over this. It keeps bees from building nests and that sort of thing in here. So it sort of comes out like this, and it's made out of wire, and then it clips on with springs. So you can put that on there, and it won't be as hot as actually touching it. So that's up to you, of course. 2 ways to get water to your trailer. The most common way is the city water hookup, right? So you're just going to hook the water onto that, and you're all set. Now, if you're camping at a campground that doesn't not have plumbing on the campsite, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank here and use the onboard pump to pump water. I'll show you the switch when we get inside. Okay? All right. I'm getting a weird thing on my monitor here. There it goes. Okay. This is a vent for the range hood. So if you're venting to the outside, let's say you're cooking and you want to vent to the outside, always make sure you open the baffle up right there. See, now it flaps freely. When you're traveling or in storage, you can just shut it like this, but anytime you're venting, you want to open that up so it flaps freely. That's where your power cord hooks to. These are your dump valves here. You got your gray, and then you got your black. Black is toilet water and waste, of course. Gray is sink and shower water. And these are your low point drains here that has to do with winterizing and de-winterizing your trailer. If you want to flush the black tank, you can leave the valve open like it is now, and then you bring the hose at the dump station over to here and screw it right onto there and turn it on. It'll spray out the inside of your black tank, clean off the sensors, that sort of thing. So if there's a hose available and it works, it hasn't been run over or something, it's a good practice to do. So anyway, this is where your sprayer plugs into. This is your water heater on the outside anyway. So you can see that, let me get this right here. One thing to know, there's a switch right here if you can see it. It's a rocker switch, on and off. That controls the electric heating element that's behind this cover here. So first of all, never run it without water in it. And second of all, well, let's put it this way. Let me back up. Generally you're going to run it on electric to keep the hot water hot. So always make sure there's water in the tank before you turn it on. You do that by, you have your city water hooked up, for example, and then you'll go inside and turn on the hot water tap. And if the tank is not full, it'll start spitting out air, and as it fills, it'll be more water mixed in with the air. Eventually, you get a solid stream of water. That's how you know it's full. Okay. This also runs on gas. There's a switch inside to operate it on gas. I'll show you that when we get in there. And this is the drain plug right here. It's hopefully you can see this. I'm having a hard time seeing my monitor here, so that's an 1 1/16 6-point socket to get that out. Plus you need an extension and a breaker bar of some sort, a ratchet or bar. But that's where you drain it at. That's also got an anode rod attached to it. Okay, so let's go inside. Okay, so when you first come in, this is first of all you have lights here inside and outside, and then you have this dimmer. You just put your thumb over it like that, and it turns them on and off. This is your power awning switch right here. You can see right there, in and out. Never leave it out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, roll it in, because you don't want to damage it by the weather. To turn your water pump on, remember I told you could pump water out of the fresh water tank. You do that right there. Also, keep in mind that let me shut this down here. Keep in mind that you could also use this to winterize the trailer, the water pump. Okay, so it's used to pump water out of the fresh water tank and to winterize the trailer. To turn your water heater on gas, you turn it on right there. There's the fault light there. So remember you got the switch on the lower left-hand corner for the electric heating element, and this is where you light it on gas. Then of course you got all your tank levels here. It's pretty self-explanatory. They graduate up in 1/3 increments. This is just telling you it's pre-wired for a solar panel. If you ever wanted to add one, that means there's going to be some kind of a hookup on the roof, and then back here there's wiring for the router part of it. Okay. All right. Let's see here. sticker right here says antifreeze inlet. I'm going to leave that sticker on there for you, but down here, I believe, here or here, I didn't prep this trailer, but one of the two, there's going to be a water pump, and it'll have a hose that you can put in the antifreeze and switch the valve over, and you can actually winterize it by drawing the antifreeze right out of the bottle using the water pump and pumping it through the trailer. So that's something you'll have to educate yourself on if you're going to do it yourself, but I'll leave that sticker there for you. Okay, these are your keys here. This I'm going to take off because it's now de-winterized. It's in camping mode right now. Oh boy. Just get one grip on it, I'll be good. There we go. I'll clean it up for you too. Okay, so this is obviously a microwave, works like any other microwave. This is your range hood vent right here. Remember I told you there's the vent outside, so when you're turning the fan on to vent to the outside, you always want to make sure that baffle's open. You got a light here. When it comes to your oven, your range, I don't know if he's got the gas turned on, so I might have to just talk you through it. But this is where you spark it. You turn this knob clockwise to spark it. Right? You got 3 knobs here, 3 burners, and then this one's the oven, of course. So he does have the gas turned on. You see how simple that was, right? Now for the oven, it's a little different. There's a pilot light all the way at the back there. And let me spark it so maybe you can see it. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But the idea is you're going to come to the oven knob here, and you go to the picture of the flame, which means pilot. You depress it, right? Then you're going to light the pilot light. After it lights, you hold it for another 10 seconds or so to heat up the thermocouple. Then you go to operating temperature, right? When you shut it off, the flame goes out, obviously, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay. This table here can drop down to turn it into a bed. You can use the back cushion to fill in the space. So it's an extra bed. Your sound right here is it has Bluetooth, so you can stream wirelessly with your phone or tablet. It has a USB drive, so you can put all your albums or whatever on one USB stick and take them with you. It has AM/FM radio, right? And also this HDMI is an in. So if you have a TV hooked up, let's say, and you want to go into the system with a portable Blu-ray player, for example, you can go right in there to it. So that's an easy way to get into the system. It has 2 speaker zones, 1 and 2. 1 is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer. So it does everything you need and then some. Your refrigerator is a 12-volt DC compressor refrigerator, so it runs off a 12-volt. Okay. This is your power converter. Now what this does, it converts AC to DC power. So you can see on this side you have circuit breakers like you'd see at home, 120 AC, and they're all labeled. This is kind of the distribution center, right? Then the power is sent to this side, which is the 12-volt side. So it converts the 120 AC to 12-volt DC on this side. And you got regular fuses here, and they're all labeled. And keep in mind these 240s right here, those are the masters. So if you ever have a wild lightning strike or a power surge and your 12-volt side goes out, always look at these 2 first, because that's 9 times out of 10 that's where the problem is. Okay. The other thing is the battery tender. So as long as you're plugged in, it's always going to sense how much energy your battery needs or has and needs, and act accordingly. If it's chopped off, it'll just trickle a couple amps to maintain it. If it's low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever it needs. Right? That's when you're plugged in. Of course, when you're pulling it down the road, your tow vehicle's alternator will be charging the battery. So there's 2 ways that it charges. All right. I'm still looking for something here. Oh, here it is right here. Okay. This is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green. If it's not green, get it serviced. It's very important. If it goes off, it's detected LP or carbon monoxide. Just take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off, and figure out what's going on. Okay. This is obviously self-explanatory here. This one's a GFCI. Keep in mind all the plugs are wired through a GFCI. Your thermostat is real simple. You just hit the mode bar to light it up, and then you'll scroll through. I'll put it to off. But heat is your LP furnace, fan is the air conditioner running without the compressor, and then cool is full air conditioning. If it gives you an option for fan speed, always choose auto. Okay. Okay, the bathroom. Sink works like, or the shower works like any other shower, of course. You got a vent here. Always use the vent with the shower to pull the humidity out. As with all RV toilets, this one is a flush pedal right here, if you can see that. The black tank is directly below, down here. So before you start using it, you have to put chemical and water in it. So when you first get to the campground, you hook up your power and your water. Then you'll come in here, you'll put a dose of chemical in there. Step on the pedal, let a gallon or so of water flow into the tank below, and you're all set till the next time you dump it. You can't use it dry. If you do, the smell will be terrible, plus it can get clogged up. So you always have to start off with chemical and water in it. Okay. This couch here jackknifes flat for a bed. Right? Then you have your bedroom area. That's a hamper type thing there. You got storage under the bed. TV hookups here. And then you also have your emergency escape window. So you would push this all the way through. Right, in this configuration it's a vent, right? But if you're escaping, you push it all the way through, then you grab a hold of this red tab and pull the screen out, and you can exit that way in an emergency. Okay? And of course you've got USB ports all over the place. Alright, so let me look around. I think I pretty much covered it. Yes. Okay, so I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. One thing to remember is the manufacturer states that you should inspect your roof every 90 days. So you want to go up there or have somebody go up there every 90 days, look at all the sealant, make sure there's no cracking or separation anywhere that where water could get in. Make sure that none of the roofing attachments or roofing material was damaged by low branches or road debris flipping up there, anything like that. You're just protecting your investment. If you inspect it, if anything goes wrong, you're ahead of the game, right? So that's why it's important to inspect it regularly. So keep that in mind. And right now, this is in camping mode. We've purged all the antifreeze out of the system. We've replaced it with fresh water, and it's all ready to be camped in right now. Okay? Thank you.